One of my coworkers brought it up. It's like the similarities between like the core kids and
Sorry.
Stop with that.
Make sure you guys are scanning in your badge, please.
Yeah, because I know feel free to have another one. Yeah, so what's this? This is like the best So is the first session What's that? First session is then it said second. Second session is comics. Okay. The third session is art. And then the fourth session is all together. Saturday, yeah.
our techniques and do what we want, following like the modern style. So because right now, if DC asked me to do a cover for a biblical things, like it would be nice, but maybe too much stiff, too much calm. And I'm very happy to do this kind of things because I can express more my art myself.
Excellent.
Just listening to you talk.
Josh, do you have any particular classic inspirations or comic book artists to draw from?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking downstairs about this. Most of my art heroes are dead, but just because I look at, for whatever reason, there's Golden Age and earlier stuff, and more it actually gets earlier and earlier. So I'm looking at stuff it's not particularly in a style that's maybe reflected in what I do, but there's the technique is wonderful, but again, for me, it's always about that atmosphere and the feeling of it. And there's some of that classic work is just so, it's so genuine. It feels so, So it's something so small like that can be huge in compositions. I think that's where there's a lot of cover art being done now. I mean, you could have put blank space up top, but I don't know. I was curious what these guys thought about the minimal trade dress. If you're not on a B cover, if you're on a regular A cover, you don't have much.
Yeah, that's why I love to work on the B covers because of that, mainly because of that.
Yeah, well, none of these would.
I treat that as a magazine cover, no magazine.
Right.
The model's always on the top 1/4 of the image.
Well, the last cover I turned in, I assumed it was a normal cover that I was doing, and then after I just started working on it, then they sent me the trade dress, and it was at the feet. And I was like, oh, I'd like less room for this big action sequence above. And now there's all this space up there that where a logo should go. It's like, how do
I have some bats you could use.
Unfortunately, I have to go back on the computer, scan it in, and kind of move things around, but it's still.
Yeah, I have, and I've screwed it up a couple of times, or maybe like the editor was like, oh yeah, there's no trade, it's like once I've gotten the sketch already done and I'm into it, there's no trade dress. I'm like, now you tell me, but it's really hard to readjust after like so many decades of doing it a certain way. It's really difficult.
Almost by default, we're always sketching and leaving that.
Yeah.
I thought, wait, I can put his head there.
Yeah.
Aquaman could be up there now.
Well, the funny thing is, like, there were so many times in your first few years of your career where you forgot about that trade dress. And it's like, gosh, now why didn't I have this opportunity back then? If I didn't know what I was doing, I would love to have that space. And now I'm so trained to make it all work.
I try and like put something up there so that they'll have to put the trade dress behind it. Like a sword or a head or hand or foot. Yeah, I love it when the art sort of covers up the trade dress in like little parts. I think it
just the top of a head.
Or like
provides depth.
I like that.
Oh yeah, that head.
Like women's lasso. I love throwing
Yes.
across that or
Yeah.
whatever. I think that editor goes, no. Way better.
Yeah, I've reached a point where I'm like, no, you do it my way. I'll fight for it.
I remember the first time I did one of those, it was just hair. And I was so nervous because I didn't actually, we don't normally put the trade dress on and put the titles and logos on there. But I thought, that hair I want to just flow just over that corner there. And I thought, can I send you a channel with that section? We got it. And everything. You're going to cut it's going to be like,
I'll actually.
They did a wonderful job. Beautifully.
If I'm fearful of it, I will draw in the logo myself. I'm a little bit of a control freak.
Yeah.
So I will put in the
In
logo.
those early days, it wasn't bold enough to ask for. Now I'll ask for. Can I have that logo? Can I do it? But they did a great job.
Yeah, they are really good. The production people are really great.
Hey guys, I don't know if you can even hear us because it's so chaotic out here, but this is actually our, third day?
Yeah,
Third day here, and we are exhausted. I haven't done any videos at all because it's just crazy. I'm tired. We have one more day to go. We're hungry. I don't know what to do. And we're hungry. We're eating dinner at 3 p.m.
I see. I was like, I thought Formula would do like a hard
Saya.
I'm so far, I'm impressed with this show. It's just
You say he's gone? So what did it go?
so thin.
Hey guys, so here I am back at my friend Kat's place where I'm staying for the con, and I'm sorry I'm laying down. I just crashed when I got back. Oh my gosh, I am wiped. My legs hurt, my shoulders are like pounding from all the bags that I was carrying. I tell you what though, 4 days is pretty intense compared to the 2 I did last year. Holy smokes. But more about that later. Right now, I guess I just wanted to semi-apologize because I only busted out my camera like once to do like a short little vlog thing, but I never did that again to update you guys. But at the same time, it's kind of like a sorry not sorry thing because I really don't have any regrets. There was just too much going on, and it was all really awesome, and you know, to be constantly taking out my camera was just not very practical, you know, between waiting in line, like scrambling to find a certain booth, going to a panel, schedules conflicting, and trying to meet people up in places I had no idea where it was, you know, it's just, it could be a little chaotic. So yeah, forgive me for that. But I did have a ton of fun, and you know, I had a great time with my friends. But yeah, I think right now I'm just gonna crash and call it a night and just relax, maybe do a little bit of editing, because I did film around the main floor. So I think I'll catch you guys in the morning when I'm fresh and not laying down. Or maybe when I can, you know, get up. But alright guys, yeah, I'll see you soon. Hey guys, sorry if my picture is shaky right now, but I'm on the road back to Vegas from San Diego. I've driven about 4 hours at this point, and I got 2 more to go. It's been a good drive so far, but you know, I figured I could record some more of my thoughts since I barely checked in with you guys throughout this trip. You know, I gotta make it up to you all, but let's go over the con. This time was a completely different experience for me. I had the 4-day pass, so it was non-stop, and I didn't realize how intense that would be, but I was able to manage pretty well, surprisingly. And the good thing about it is that when you have the 4-day pass, you have the luxury to come back to certain booths later. You know, you can prioritize differently, and that's very helpful in a con like this, where there's just so much available to you in terms of like panel and programming, anticipating the queuing wait times, and also just knowing when certain exclusive drops are going to happen, just trying to coordinate all that. It's just super helpful with the 4 days. That being said, there's no need to go crazy every single day. I did do that, but I wouldn't advise it, just because every single night you're gonna be super exhausted. I mean, if you want to, sure, but yeah, it's easier if you just kind of wing it a little bit, and, you know, take your time. Of course, rush when you need to, but you know, there's certain things that don't have to be urgent, like, you know, especially stuff that aren't exclusive, you can always return later in the day or later in the week. So yeah, keep that in mind. Going into the exclusive lotteries, I was fortunate enough to win the Bruce Campbell signing lottery and the Funko booth, only for the 3 exclusives. So here's the deal with Funko. It was totally different than last year. They split the booth into 2. So in my opinion, it's a good thing, but I can understand why people don't like this new thing that they're doing. So in one booth, it's just all your shared exclusives. So everything and anything you can buy at like GameStop or Target or ThinkGeek or whatever, that's all in one booth. In the other booth, they only had 3 items, and those were the super limited, just to the con exclusives. So the Batman holding the con bag and the toucan, the logo pop, exclusive pop, and the Pez dispenser. Yeah, so I actually won, but I didn't know there were 2 different booths this year. So I thought it was just going to be 1 booth. Luckily, my coworker, who was also there, asked me which Funko booth I won, and I said, and I looked, and it was the booth 100 versus I forget what the other one was. And he's like, oh, okay, cool, so you got the limited one. And I was like, what? So of course, me and my other friend, who also won the same booth, we did a little research, went to go ask the info people out there, and they were like, oh yeah, so your booth is way on the other side. And we ran over to the secondary Funko booth, and my friend actually, her time slot was at 1 on Friday, so we needed to go check it out, and mine wasn't until Sunday at 1:15, so I still had a little bit of time. But yep, we were there, and sure enough, you only see the 3 pops, or sorry, 2 pops and Funko Pez dispenser available. So we were a little bit bummed because we really wanted that Jaws pop. That was like our main want for Funko. But, you know, I can't complain because I really did want that Batman one as well. So, and those are actually con exclusives. So, you know, got lucky there. And yeah, the Bruce Campbell signing was amazing. At first I thought it wasn't going to go well because, let me just tell the story. So I got there at like 7:30 to pick up my wristband. And luckily there wasn't really any line, but you know, it kind of sucked having to wake up super early for that, but it's okay. I mean, it's San Diego Comic-Con, what you gonna do, right? Sometimes you just gotta do it if you really want to take advantage of a certain event that they're having. So it was all good. And also I was like really close to the front of the line for the exhibit hall right before they opened, so that was pretty cool. So the signing wasn't going to be till noon, so I had a little bit of time to spare, walked around the exhibit hall where all the vendors are and stuff, you know, had my eye on a couple of things, and it was time for the signing, so I went up there, and it was pretty easy to find. But here's the thing, they were just letting anybody in, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold up here. I won the lottery, first of all, for this event. I had to wake up early to pick up my wristband, and you're now telling me that anybody can just waltz right in here and get a wristband and attend this event? Like, what? And I was like, all right, just calm down. You're about to meet Bruce. It's all good. Just whatever. Get over it. You know, pick your battles. It's okay. So that's what I did. I just said, screw it. I don't need to be mad right now, you know. And, you know, I was able to get into the exhibit hall pretty early, but I do think they should have a little more organization with those signings, and because a lot of the workers there also aren't very aware of what's going on, because that was another issue I had with that signing was I wasn't sure if Bruce Campbell was going to sign our personal items, like, or because they had said that he was going to hand something out and sign it, which is kind of sucky because I think he was there to promote Ripley's Believe It or Not, because he's the new host. So I really not a huge fan of that. I'm more of a fan of his work in horror. So I had a couple of things with me, like I had like 2 pops and a print, and that I wanted signed, and I ended up leaving two pops at home or at Kat's place because I read the fine print and it said that he wasn't going to do any personal signings. So I was like, all right, I'll leave that. Take the print though, just in case, right? Because that's light and I could just, you know, slide it under and maybe he'll sign it without really realizing. go ask several people, and they didn't know. And then finally, they told us that we were allowed one personal item, or the item that he brought. So it was one or the other. And of course, I was so happy that I brought the print, because I think I would have been highly disappointed with this little like postcard of Ripley's Believe It or Not. It was like a little promo push card, which would have sucked. Like, but if you know, if I had listened to the fine print, I would have been stuck with that. So I'm really happy that I brought the print anyways. So just a heads up to anybody that goes next year or anything like that, always bring a personal item. Always, just in case. As you know, as long as it's light, it won't be super heavy to carry around the con. I would highly advise that, even for the ones that say that they won't allow any personal items, because you never know. Moving on to like crowds and stuff, you know, I think I dealt with the crowds a lot better than last year. It didn't bug me as much, honestly. Don't get me wrong, the amount of people, the amount of vendors, the amount of events going on all at once was pretty overwhelming, but I think this time I was much more on a mission. Like last time I was just kind of taking it all in and trying to figure out where to go and when and what. Like, it was nuts last year, but this time I had a better handle on it, and I knew exactly where I needed to go. I knew the times and everything. Like, yeah, it was much more of a smooth experience. And because of that, I feel like I was able to visit some of the booths that I wasn't able to last year. I had way more comics signed this year as well. And, you know, because it was much easier. I already knew the layout a lot better. I knew where certain artists were going to be. And, you know, I just it wasn't my first rodeo anymore. So took advantage of that knowledge and definitely was more efficient because of it. So yeah, second year around was, I would say better. I would say definitely better. And I really enjoyed myself. Sunday was actually really crowded, which is weird because last year it was super chill. So I kind of risked missing out on some stuff because there were certain things I was like, okay, I'll just come back here on Sunday. Everyone just decided to buy all of their merch on Sunday, I feel like, including myself. I thought it'd be okay. And then, yep, the day came and you just see these herds of people, like you could barely walk. It was just madness. I'm happy I was still able to get most of what I wanted, so it still worked out. But yeah, I was definitely pushing it. I might have to think of a different strategy if I return next year, because that was kind of close. You know, panels are never really my priority when going to San Diego. I know there are a ton of great ones, but you know, usually I like going for the collectibles, and of course I'd love to see panels, don't get me wrong, but you know, there's something about scoring an awesome haul at San Diego that I can bring back with me that I love. So I usually spend most of my time in the exhibit hall. But this year I did go and see the DC cover artists panel, and I'm so glad I did. I'll tell you more about that later as well. But basically, some of the top of the heap of wonderful cover artists that you can even think of were there, and it was just kind of surreal seeing them all together in one room, just conversing like amongst each other. I couldn't believe it. It was just such an experience, and yeah, I had such a good time there. I was really glad that I caught that one. I went to a few others as well. I went to I think it was one called The Future of Film is Female. Wasn't a huge fan of the name of that panel, but it was a good panel, so I was happy about that. But yeah, didn't do too much of that. Maybe I will next year, if I even get to go to the con next year. That's the thing, you're never guaranteed the following year unless you have like a professional badge or whatever. So you always have to make the best of your days there, because you never know if if that's your last year. So I'm definitely happy with the way everything turned out. Got to hang out with some great friends that I hadn't seen in a while. It was great chatting with some of the artists. They're so accessible there, which I love, and they're so friendly. I'm sure I'm missing a ton of details, guys, but that is basically my experience. I can't wait to show you all my haul. Obviously, I grabbed a couple comics, but they're just exclusives. I didn't want to go digging there. I did kind of look a bit through some of the short boxes or long boxes there, but most of the stuff's overpriced. There was one booth that had a bunch of dollar books, but I also just didn't have the time with everything else going on. It's like I can go digging anywhere, literally. So, I concentrate on comics most of the year, so that's one place that I really don't go digging. Is that ironic or what? But anyways, okay guys, that's about it. I'm losing light here. I'm in the middle of the desert, so yeah, it's gonna go pitch black soon, and I don't want to still be filming. I will catch you guys later. Keep an eye out for my haul videos. Alright guys, if you like this video, give me a like or subscribe, or both. I don't hate it. And you can catch me on Twitter and on Instagram at PopDotComix.